Let's be real. Being a mom can be really hard sometimes. But today I want to give you 5 of my best mom hacks to help your life run smoother, your home stay neater, and just give you a little more sanity. Hey, if you are new here, welcome. I'm Katie and I am a mom of 8. Now, over the years, I have tried all kinds of different habits and systems and things that sometimes work and sometimes don't. And so today I am here to tell you 5 of my best mom hacks. So let's jump into them. But before we do, be sure to hit that subscribe button and stick around with us because I would be honored to encourage you. My first mom hack is to work with your child's natural organization tendencies instead of against them. We've all created systems or given places for things, and we get super frustrated when our kids don't put things away. Right? We've all had that kid say, "Mom, I don't have any more clean clothes," because they're all shoved in the bottom of their closet, right? Working with your kids' natural tendencies instead of against them makes a huge difference. A couple of examples. In our home, we have what I call our drop zone right inside the front door. Now, hooks are great, closets are great, shelves are great, cubbies are great. My kids won't use them. I do have some pretty hardcore ADHD among my kids. So not only are things out of sight, out of mind, but things are out of use, out of mind in my house. If my kids are done using them, even if they are directly in front of their faces, they stop seeing them. It's amazing. Things like disappear. So what I did instead of trying to come up with an elaborate system is I just lined up big plastic baskets across the floor in our front entry hallway. And all the kids have to do is come in, dump their shoes, their jackets, whatever is in season at the moment in their basket. That's it. All they have to do is drop it. Another example is recently I redid our whole Lego system because the kids were not using the shelves that I had put up for their Legos. They were using my built-ins around my fireplace. So I designated the built-ins around the fireplace as their Lego display zone. And an amazing thing happened. They started putting their Legos away. It's a miracle. If you want to see that video all about our Lego organization, I will link that in the description box down below. Be sure to check that out. So working with your child's natural organizational tendencies, or lack thereof, let's be honest, will save you a whole lot of frustration and headache. Mom hack number 2, socks. Let's just talk about socks for a minute. Socks are the bane of my existence. Callie Bransford over on But First Coffee recently shared a similar mom hack where she said you need to keep your socks with your kids' shoes, which is absolutely true. Don't put their socks up in their dresser. That's not where they look for them. That's not when they need them. You need socks when you're putting your shoes on. So I just took it one step further and I have all the same sock. So recently what I did is I threw all of the socks in my house away, all of my kids' socks. I love fun socks, but I take care of them myself. So I threw all of the kids' socks away and I went and I just bought several dozen pairs of the same cushioned athletic socks. And I made a drawer in our front hallway closet and I put all of those socks in there. So now everybody wears the same socks and they only go in that one spot. So if they show up in somebody else's laundry, if I find them on the floor, they all just sort of get dumped into the washer, and as they get pulled out in different loads, I just stick them all back in that one drawer. So when somebody needs socks, they know where to find them, they know that they match, everybody has some that fit, and we don't have to go looking for them. This is especially great on race days when my kids are all running trail races and they need socks inside of their running shoes. My next mom hack for you is to label everything that your children use, even the seemingly ridiculously obvious things. For example, we have a set of colorful Contigo flip straw water bottles that the kids use as their primary drinking vessels, and they're all different colors. So the kids each have a different color. So seemingly we shouldn't need to label them because the kids all know what their color is and the colors are all different. Except that not everybody else can always remember which color is whose. So if you ask, hey Gavrel, can you go get Elyonah's water? He'll be like, I don't know which one is hers. Or inevitably my husband would forget what color is which. Or we have a couple colors that are pretty similar. Declan and Joe, definitely their colors are pretty close. So I use my Cricut Joy machine to just print out everybody's names and put them on their water bottles, and it is amazing how much easier it is to find them. Like, you wouldn't think it would make a difference in like where they are, but somehow it does. Somehow it does. They are so much easier to find. Everybody knows who everybody else's are. Daddy knows who everybody's are. We don't have to like look twice at which color is which. It's amazing. All right. So I label my kids' shoe bins. Even though they're in birth order, that is still never enough for people to actually remember. So they have their letters on them. I label their Lego bins and their laundry bins and their Christmas candy. When I put candy in stockings, I label the containers with their first initial so that nobody can accidentally eat somebody else's. Easter's coming up, label the Easter candy, do it. Even when it seems super obvious. If you have 2 kids, if you have 10 kids, labeling everything, even when it seems really obvious, just not only helps each child know which stuff is theirs and where it's supposed to go, but it actually helps everybody else know where their stuff doesn't go. And I have been amazed at what a big difference this makes. Even stuff that we already sort of knew whose was whose, making it obvious has just made all the difference in the world, and stuff gets put away. Number 4 is to give your kiddos a place. In our house, we call them saving bins for all of their like random little treasures and things. Most organizing experts on the internet will tell you to use a memory bin for your kids for those special drawings and mementos and awards and stuff like that. And that is a good idea, but I'm talking about something just a little bit different. This is for like that cool shaped rock and the craft supplies that they want to save and the drawings that they want and the stories that they started but never quite finished, or you know, the garage sale treasure. That kind of thing that isn't necessarily something that will eventually make it into a memory bin, but your kids are not like mentally ready to part with just yet. Or in our case, it may occasionally be like a book that they get for a birthday or Christmas that they want to keep to themselves for a little while before they share, or something like that. Just having a designated spot so that when they have, you know, that strip of yarn that they found who knows where, that they want to glue to their next picture, you can say, okay, but it needs to go in your saving bin. That kids just inevitably collect. They do. They just inevitably collect things. The leaves, the pine cones. Declan found a spot where a beaver had chewed down a tree one time, and the little chips where the beaver had like chewed off the wood. He thought those were super cool, and they were. But I don't need a big display jar of them in my home, so he could save some of them in his saving bin. So it allows children to just sort of hold on to some of those things that they're really interested in that don't necessarily need to be a long-term item, but that you don't want necessarily all over your house either. I do coach my kids occasionally to get out their saving bin and go through it and just reevaluate. Like, do you still want to keep this, or, you know, did you maybe forget about it and don't need it anymore? And they're pretty good about that. Even the ones that want to save the most are usually pretty good about it. Usually. Now, finally, if you are a mom, especially if you have younger children, you need an inbox. Now, I'm not talking about your email inbox, but you need an art inbox. Is when a lovely small child of mine brings me a piece of paper and proudly announces, "Mom, I drew you this picture. And they bring you their masterpiece with one little scribble on the paper that they inevitably bring you when you are in the middle of something else. You can look at it and take it and say, oh, wow, thank you so much for thinking of me. Will you go put that in my inbox for me so I don't lose it? They show it to you and you gush over it and they're so proud, and they take it and they put it in the basket. And then at some point later in time, either when your kids are not around or the emotional attachment has sort of tapered off from this masterpiece, that you can go through the basket and decide which of these, probably most of them, are no longer necessary and can go on the recycling. And which occasionally somebody does actually draw something really cute and sweet and you may want to save it, but this inbox idea gives you a chance to make your kids feel valued and seen and appreciated for the effort that they put in, without having to feel like you need to keep every single little scrap of paper that somebody scribbled on. Right, so there you have it, my friends. Those are 5 of my best mom hacks. Let me know in the comments down below which one was your favorite and what other hacks are saving your sanity right now. Thank you so much for being here, friends. I love you, I appreciate you, and I will see you next time.